over on my channel, then I've done 2 installments of this, basically talking about that. So this is really installment number 3. First installment was just talking a little bit about my journey. Last week was talking about the scariest question I've ever been asked. And this week, I want to dive right into what happens when you feel like you don't want to do it anymore. What if you just get to the point where you don't want to do it anymore? And even if you're not in social selling, I think this applies to a lot of areas. So it's not just for social sellers, because I think anytime we're working on a goal or we've achieved a goal and maybe we have a setback, we start to think, I don't want to do it anymore. And I was having this discussion with a friend. It was in maybe December, maybe January, I can't remember. And I challenged her to think about what is this? Like when you say, I don't want to do this anymore, what's the this in there? Because when you think to yourself and you think, I don't want to do this anymore, like whatever it is, okay, whether it's your current job, whether it's your health routine, your diet, your supplement plan, whether, maybe you're in a rough relationship or whatever, and you think, I don't want to do this anymore. Well, what's the this? What is the this you don't want to do? And so for me, I had to start identifying this. And this for me was, I don't want to worry anymore. I don't want to feel overwhelmed anymore. I don't want to feel pressured anymore. I don't want to be holding on to something so tight that I'm afraid of what will happen if it doesn't work out the way I want it to. Like for me and my journey specifically in social selling, I just got to the point where I realized that I was just holding on so tight to this level of success that I had achieved because I worked so hard for it and I wasn't willing to let it go, even though it was never mine to begin with. Like it's not mine. I really don't believe many things are mine. I think they're provided to me by the Lord. This is his. He gave it to me. It's not something I created. He gave it to me. I simply have obediently shared health and wellness. I'm not going anywhere, by the way. I'm staying put. That's why I'm sharing this journey for the hopes of encouraging others that have felt in a similar situation. I love my social selling journey. I love how much I've grown. I have grown so much in the last 4 years. I have become a completely different person than I was before. Many of you may not know that. You may see me today and think I've always been this person. And you can ask those who know me really well that no, I have not always been this person who isn't afraid to publicly speak, who feels confident in her message. I have not always been that person. So it's allowed me to grow into that. But all of that to say, what I'm sharing with you is I had to define the this. So for you, you need to define this. And I went to this church event. And a friend of mine talked, and she was kind of talking about life coaching, and she was talking about, your true self versus your false self. And so really your true self does things out of love. Okay. And your false self does things out of fear. So when we're doing things out of love, right, we tend to have positive emotions that come with that, right? We tend to have joy and hope, and we feel peaceful, and there's a lot of gratitude, and we feel connected, and there's a lot of passion with it, maybe some openness, and maybe we're curious too, right? Like when we do things out of love, that is what's there. It's open-handed, right? And we aren't attached to the outcomes because we know the outcomes do not deem us successful or not, no matter what we're talking about. I'm talking about my social selling journey. For you, you could be thinking about something else, but if you just hold it like this and you don't become so attached to the outcomes because the outcomes are going to be what they're supposed to be and it's all probably going to work out, you can operate from your true self, which is really just love, right? Of love and joy and passion and just what you were created to do. But when your false self comes in, that's where fear plays in, like, right? FOMO, fear of missing out, maybe fear of failure. Maybe you're anxious. Maybe you're overwhelmed. Maybe you've got some panic, or maybe you have a deflated self-image. For me, there was pressure. There was pressure. There was fear of, oh no, I've achieved this. What will happen if I don't maintain this status? What will happen? What will that mean? And really, I was afraid of how I would feel. I was afraid of feeling defeated. I was afraid of just feeling like I'd let myself down or let other people down. Like there was a lot of fear. And the more fear I had about the what ifs I can't maintain this success or whatever I've achieved, what if I can't maintain it, the tighter I held on. And the tighter you hold on to something, the more likely you are to lose it, okay? Because you start to operate out of these unhealthy, negative emotions, and you cannot sustain life from negative emotions for very long. Eventually the bottom drops out, okay? You have positive emotions and negative emotions, and negative emotions are good. They're there as a warning, but you can't operate out of them. Think about, anger and sadness and embarrassment and shame. Like those cannot propel you for very long, nor will they get you any closer to what you want, because it's false. They don't serve you. So that was a realization I had in January when I thought, I don't want to do this anymore. Well, what was this? I wanted to stop operating out of fear. I wanted to stop thinking that somehow my success or whatever was attached to my outcomes. And it's not really attached to my outcomes. There are outcomes and they're amazing. And I've had some amazing outcomes in my business, amazing outcomes. But what about all the growing I've done along the way? And just because this certain outcome enters in to my life, I can decide what it means. It can be good or bad, right? And so I've been in a season where some of the outcomes in my business haven't been my favorite, but that's okay. It's just a chapter. It's just a chapter in my journey. And every book has a messy middle. Every book has a chapter that's not your favorite. So if it's not your favorite, then just turn the page and start a new chapter, right? And so these are all the things that I have been talking to myself about, that I just want to be open and real with anybody else about. Like, it's so easy on social media to think that person knows what they're doing. And guess what? 9 out of 10 people feel like they still don't know what they're doing. I still don't feel like I know what I'm doing. I just wake up every day and I just do what I know that I am called to do. I do what I know that I love to do, what I was put here to do, which is to inspire, encourage, exhort, teach, train, be vulnerable, whatever, right? And so that's what I'm doing here. So my hope is to continue once a week to kind of talk about this journey, talk about things I've learned, in the hopes of encouraging and inspiring you, whether you're a fellow social seller, whatever that looks like for you, whether that's direct sales, another company, whatever. I think we all have unique struggles when we do social selling, or maybe you just relate in some other area of life, like where you've been working on a goal. So you have to set your goals from a place of love, and you need to acknowledge where you're at currently without shame. So if you're in a space right now where you haven't met a goal, or you're not close to meeting that goal, you're going to have to leave the shame at the door, because I'm going to tell you what, no amount of self-judgment is going to propel you towards that goal faster. No amount of self-judgment is going to help you meet the goal, because if self-judgment could help you get to where you wanted to go, you would have been there 5 days ago. Okay. Because we all struggle with self-judgment. So I'm just here to tell you that you can leave it, and you're not better or more worthy, and you don't matter more when you reach a goal. You reach a goal, it's amazing. And whatever you reach there is good. Celebrate it. But remember that there are ebbs and flows no matter what you're working on, with your health, with your finances, with whatever. Okay. It can't always be on the up and up, and you're going to hit chapters that aren't your favorite. So you can decide that it ends there with that chapter, or you can turn the page and start a new chapter and make it get better, or see if it gets better. So I hope this is valuable for you. I hope this makes sense. I hope this adds some value. If it does, I would love to hear, like, if you could relate to any part of my social selling journey, if you relate to, operating out of love versus fear, and how you see that show up in your life. I think we can all relate to that to some extent. And if this is valuable to you, I would love to know. If so, I'll keep live streaming these on Facebook, so you don't have to go to my YouTube channel to listen to them. But for now, if you want to catch the first 2 I did, they're over on my YouTube channel under The Frustrated Social Seller. But again, I'm not frustrated as in I'm going somewhere. It's just the frustrations I've encountered along the way, but how they're helping me grow, and why I'm not giving up, and why I'm stronger now than I was before. So thanks for tuning in. If you did, I really appreciate it. And I'm just here to share my journey in the hopes that maybe just one person identifies and feels encouraged today. So hope you have a great rest of your day.